In this edition, we are going to talk about the Financial Stability Report, which has been released by Reserve Bank of India early this month. This is a biannual report and it holds a lot of significance in the sense that it works on three dimensions. The first is it makes an assessment of financial system, how it is panning out, and how the weaknesses and the strengths are emanating from the system. The second aspect it works on under different stress situations, how the financial stability will be moving around, and it also gives hint to the financial intermediaries as to how they should align their internal policies to derive the synergy of the financial stability that is there in the system. Now, as far as the financial system is concerned, the report indicates that we have a medium stress as far as the financial system is concerned. That is, the financial intermediaries, how they are doing, and whether they are having the resilience to withstand the shocks of the ups and downs of the system. The other aspect which it is indicating is about the banks and the financial intermediaries. As far as the banks are concerned, they have major exposures now, new exposures in the areas of NBFCs, because the TLTRO, which has been rolled out by the Reserve Bank of India, the banks are lending to the mutual funds and NBFCs and other institutional players. And as far as lending to the other sectors, that is the corporate sector is concerned, it is still at a very low level. That is about 5.7% as far as the credit growth of the year 2021 is concerned. And now because of the emergency credit line guarantee scheme, which has been now expanded and more areas are being covered, I think the banks will start lending to these sectors, that is the aviation and healthcare and other sectors. As far as the asset quality of the banks are concerned, we are in a much more comfortable state when compared to last year. The gross non-performing assets of the banking system is about 7.48%, which under moderate stress may go up to 9.8%. And if the stress is very severe, then it is going to touch about 11.22%. That is the take as far as the asset quality is concerned. A new thing that is happening now is the formation of the bad bank, which is going to give a lot of relief to the banks as far as the asset quality is concerned. Another good aspect which has come out in the report is the capital adequacy ratio, that is the credit to risk-weighted assets ratio, has increased by about 130 basis points, and it has gone to 16%. That's a very big comfort when compared to the 10.875%, that is the minimum capital adequacy ratio. So the gap between the minimum requirement and the capital adequacy ratio that the banks are right now having, that gives an indication that banks have built up a lot of capital cushion with which they can start lending to the various sectors of the economy. So that is the capital adequacy ratio that has gone up. That is another point of comfort as far as the stress is concerned. A third aspect is the provision coverage ratio. Now the provision coverage ratio is touching around 70%. That means 70% of the bad loans have already been provided for. Now, if there is a recovery from those kind of loans, then there will be a flow back into the profitability of the banks. Now the quarterly reports, quarterly financial results of some of the banks which are coming up now, they are showing good signs. So on the whole, the RBI, the assessment of the RBI is such that the banks are in a better position to cushion against any kind of stress in the system. Now, having been hurt by the second wave of the coronavirus, now the opening up has started, and the assessment is such that the revival is expected to be much faster than in the earlier first wave, because now the vaccination has advanced to a considerable stage, and the people also have become much more conscious and knowledgeable as far as preventing the spread of the virus is concerned. So these two aspects will give much more comfort to the economy, and people will be able to get engaged with the productive sectors of the economy in a much more comfortable position. So these two banks are in a sound position, and NBFC sector is getting the funds from the banks. Mutual funds, because the capital markets are doing very well, so the mutual funds will also be doing well going forward. So looking from all the aspects, we can say that the financial sector is much more resilient, more stronger, and in a better footing. Now, when we come to the weaknesses of the system, the credit growth has not been up to the potentiality that the banks are having. So there are a lot of issues as far as fresh lending is concerned. I think the banks are working as far as the credit growth is concerned. I think in the coming weeks or coming months, the revival will take place. The other threat which is looming large is the price of commodities. That is the price rise of commodities, which can push our inflation to beyond the comfort level of RBI. That is the glide path of inflation is plus or minus 2% over 4%. That is, it should range between 2 to 6%. And there is always a threat world over, of course. Now the inflation is inching up. And because of the external commodity prices rising, there could be an inflation push which can be contained by policy interventions. Now, as far as the policy of the Reserve Bank of India has been to give more priority to the growth, and as a result of which the monetary policy is kept accommodative and the interest rates are kept as it is, that is the repo rate at 4% and the reverse repo rate at 3.35%. So these two aspects will continue to remain till such time that the economy picks up and the pace of revival is comfortable. Now, as far as the losses are concerned, profitability of the banks are concerned, now there is a lot of improvement as far as the profitability of the banks are concerned, and RBI has already given some kind of guidance as to how to plow back and how to regulate the payment of dividend to the shareholders. So the dent on the balance sheets of the bank during the second wave has not been to the extent that we have earlier perceived. So we are in a better, comfortable stage, and the capital and liquidity buffers are adequate, and recovery is well underway. And once the credit picks up, I think the economy will be able to revive much faster. And in a situation where the economic activity has been disrupted, I think the financial system can take the lead in creating momentum for this. And with the stronger capital position and good governance and efficiency in financial intermediation can be ensured, and productive sectors of the economy will be met while the integrity and soundness of the system will be retained. So, in gist, the Financial Stability Report has given a positive note as far as the financial stability is concerned, and also the way forward. The only, to my mind, the point is the credit has to grow. And I am sure that in the coming weeks it will start growing, because the banks are having good capital adequacy ratio. Of course, as far as the if you take the breakup between the public sector banks and the private sector banks, the private sector banks' credit growth has been much higher when compared to public sector banks, because of the various factors. I think the credit growth will now start picking up because of the use of the TLTRO funds. So what I would request is, please put your comments in the comment box, and we will try to address those queries as we go forward. And looking forward for the next edition of the conversation that we will be having. Thank you very much for watching.